interview Josh. Josh.
Sir,
Interview
what?
me. Interview me, Josh.
Romeo. Is that you?
Come interview me.
It's Romeo. It's like 4 a.m.
It's not early enough. Let's do the interview. Come on.
Hi. Alright, so. Alright. What are you doing?
This is gonna be a great interview. We're gonna
Break the ice.
Okay, breaking the ice. Perfect.
It's midnight madness, time to break the ice. Late night with the icebreakers, slice of paradise. When stars collide and truths unfold, no script too rigid, no tales to hold. The icebreakers, yeah, we're breaking through late night conversations. Respect is new, from laughs to deep talks, we'll keep it real. Icebreakers after dark, that's the deal.
Welcome to episode 5, the episode that shows that we have finally made it and we are going to be celebrities and a real big deal. Today I'm joined by my guest, Romeo Norris. If you don't know who he is, you sure as fuck will. Romeo. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
thank you for having me aboard. That's a fancy clink.
That is fancy. That is fancy.
I finally didn't burn my tongue that time.
So, how's things?
Things have been good. Good gravy. Gravy good.
Gravy good? Gravy good? So, if we want to tell people who you are, what's one word that describes you?
Speechless? Does that count? I was trying to go for speechless.
Ooh, so you're beating it. You're beating it. There was speech. There was one word you had, and you're like, no, I don't need it.
Yeah, I'd like to think of the word would be gasp. Yeah,
Oh, look at the mic.
that's good.
Okay. So, I've known you how long now?
Well, you pierced my ear when I met you.
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
You
was-
had to have been 13.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
How old are you now?
Much older. And wiser.
Yes, that makes it very difficult for me to put a time frame on this.
I'm 35.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have been 13. I would have been 21, maybe 22.
Yeah, I always thought the whole time that you screwed up because I bled a ton, like so much. Like I don't think you're supposed to bleed that much. But then years later, I went and got my other ear pierced because that was then in style. And that bled, and like I went to a tattoo shop because I remember I was like, a buddy did the first one and it bled so much. I just want to make sure I get it done right. So I went to a tattoo shop and that guy did it and it just kept going. He's like, do you have a vein in your ear? He's like all freaked out. It was freaking me. I was like, this happened last time. Like,
So, music. Let's start with the music because
Right.
that's where people are going to know you.
right.
You have quite a few good songs. Coffee Song, 2 a.m. I think is going to be a hit.
Thank you. Thank you.
I believe fully that song is going to be a hit, and we will premiere it here. Did we agree on this?
That's agreed.
That is agreed. We are going to premiere it. It's not the full video because you made the video with
stock production.
Mhm.
So actually when Dakota was here, he was saying, when you're working on music, then you got to work on the video, and it's just like this whole other world, and there's so much focus that, tears you apart from marketing, working on video, working on the song, what you want to do. And it takes so much, like just an incredible amount of equipment, and focus and drive and knowledge to be able to know how. So when it came to when I write music, I just do it for fun. The Coffee Song, for example, one day I was at home by myself, lucky, and I had so much coffee, too much coffee. I was just like overloaded. I was like, coffee. So it's just like a fun little pet project of this thing, just blurt it out, and share it with a couple friends. And I do that. I'll make something and just for a friend or two and some family, like, hey, listen to this thing I made. I had too much coffee that day. With 2 a.m. friend, this is a more serious, aspect of, I want to get this song was inspired from a conversation when I worked at a restaurant. I had a friend. She was just telling how she was a booty call. Like, hey, this guy, he's a couple hours away. He'll call me up, and I'll just drive over there. I hope it blossoms. But that's
not going to blossom.
Yeah, it's not going to blossom.
She doesn't understand guys.
No, I was sitting there thinking that, like, I was just like holding my cup, like, that's not going to blossom. I know what this is,
I know that conversation. Like,
yeah.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Just please tell me more about your delusions, please.
Yes.
Please.
But it did inspire the song. And I, like a couple days later, wrote the song. And then in the song, I was thinking about her aspirations of this blossoming, and that's where the song goes,
Okay.
And then the video, like, so I got a local artist. She doesn't actually sing.
Yep. I
just
chatted
know her
with her,
from,
asked her about what she wanted to do for her music career. She's like, I do hair and makeup. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So. I used to do a lot of karaoke, and I sing a lot of songs with her mom. And then I got her to just come in and sing the song. And it's just like, she did a really great job. And I've worked on the song for a while, and I got it to a point where I'm like, this is good. And I feel like when you can't just put out a song anymore. People don't just listen. I mean, Spotify, if you're going to like, listen to new stuff, but like, I feel like you also need to bring more with it, like the bar has been raised, since my dad's day. Mm-hmm. So I knew of a stock footage website, mm-hmm. and I was able to take like little tiny clips and mm-hmm. turn it into a music video. So that's where I came from.
It looked really good. That's how I do things when I'm making art. Even when I do different things, I like to take stock footage and make almost like maybe not the full thing, but like, okay, I want this here, I want this here, I want this here. That was how I got our theme song. Obviously I made the theme song with AI. It was funny. I liked it. So mm-hmm. I was like, okay, we got a theme song. Awesome. And then I made a whole bunch of either AI or stock footage from Envato elements, which that's the one that I use, and they're great. But I do like that I can go into AI. I can have Midjourney made me, I think, 4 pictures. Video is not there yet. I played around with some AI video, but it's not quite there that I can do anything good, but it's looking like it's close. But yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, 2 a.m.
2 a.m. friend.
With that, maybe we should get to the video, and then we can come back and chat a little bit more.
All right.
It's 2 a.m., you're lighting up my phone, asking me to be where you are, 'cause you don't want to be alone, 'cause you couldn't find nobody at the bar. If I gave my loving to you till our skin touched by the sun, would it be like I never knew you? Would I just be someone? 'Cause I don't wanna be in the boat you're in at 2 a.m. looking for a friend. Looking for a friend. Now we've been down this road before, 2 a.m. and you're sweet on me, but I know you know I want more than late night eggplant emoji. Not ready to get real, and just leave me alone, 'cause I'm about a text away from turning off my phone. It's 2 a.m., you're lighting up my phone, asking me to be where you are, 'cause you don't want to be alone, 'cause you couldn't find nobody at the bar. If I gave my loving to you till our skin touched by the sun, would it be like I never knew you? Would I just be someone? 'Cause I don't wanna be in the boat you're in at 2 a.m. looking for a friend. Looking for a friend.
It's 2 a.m. cause I couldn't wait till 2 at noon. I can't get you off my mind. I wanna see you soon. Like tonight, the next night, and all the days after that. At your best, at your worst, I wanna see you first, sleepy pillow chat. 'Cause you've been talking about real for as long as I remember. And I'm ready to be real December.
2 a.m. You're lighting up my
It's 2 a.m. and you're lighting up my. You know.
2 a.m. You're lighting up my phone.
Asking me to be where you are.
'Cause you don't want to be alone. 'Cause you couldn't find nobody at the bar. If I gave my loving to you till our skin touched by the sun, would it be like an urban kill you? Would I just be someone? 'Cause I don't wanna be in the boat you're in. At 2 a.m.
Looking for a
friend. 'Cause I don't wanna be in the boat you're in. At 2 a.m.
looking for a friend.
We are back. So I am joined by my friend Romeo, also producer for Icebreaker.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how that started. I know
Well-
there's pictures drawn.
Yes.
Yes.
Epic pictures.
The pictures, yes.
Yep.
Yep. We talked for a while because you've been making music for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least 10 years at least.
Yeah. I'd say longer than that. I mean, just writing just tracks and stuff, easily 12, before 12.
Before you're 12 years old or 12 years ago?
Before I was 12 years old.
Before 12? That makes
I remember specifically in 6th grade, my dad got this new piece of equipment. So like, instead of like, you know, I like Dragon Ball Z and stuff. Instead of watching a show,
Who doesn't?
I'd be reading like the manual for like, how do I use this? Like, it's like a drum beat machine. Like, how do I use this? My dad being so wise, he spur me to doing it, and I was saying, hey, do this. He'd say, you can't understand this equipment's beyond you. You have to be in college to understand something like this, you know. So I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll show you, you know. I read the manual, and then I read the other manual, and then I started writing beats, you know.
Both. Yeah, so you've been making music for many, many years.
Well,
since
even
I've
before
known
that, so like, as you mentioned, there's a group of us. So my dad had this whole aspiration of us being like the next Jackson 5.
you, which makes
So
sense.
pretty much from age 5, I was singing. We go to like coffee shop on stage, you know, like, so I've always been very musical, you know, like always sang, always played an instrument.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because I've only seen you play karaoke once or twice. It's not really my jam, but when I watched you play, it was very, very entertaining. You moonwalk, you dance, you put on a show.
Yeah.
As you're singing flawlessly.
It's fun to do.
Well, that's why you do what you do. So, but then when I approached you to be a producer, it was because with how creative you are, I thought you would be able to add a lot to everyone else's music and work and make it more fun, make it better, I guess, because that's what a producer's supposed to do, correct?
Yeah.
So, and why don't you tell them about that story, about your thoughts going in when I approached you?
Well, you approached me and you're like, hey, will you do this thing? And I was like, I'm going to think about it. And then this other time you're like, hey, will you do this thing? And I was like, yes.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. There was pictures drawn.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
that was
doodle.
a big part.
That's always been my thing. Like, you know, instead of writing notes, I just doodle as we go along. I guess it helps me retain.
Well, it was the perfect picture because I'm dead serious. It was basically the idea and how other people can't see it. Like, hey, we all come together to do something. Then we start making money, and then we push the car to the bank. Like, it's a simple concept that you'd think everyone would understand, that if you work as a team, you could probably make more than trying to push a heavy car filled with money by yourself up a hill.
One thing I never understood about standoffish musicians is some of the best music is like people working together. I mean, you look back in time, you know, all they had were violins and trumpets, you know, and they started putting together, you know, chamber group, larger groups, and it's people working in unison to make a sound that move other people like to tears, you know, and just like it's a group effort. And it should be a group effort, you know, with Dakota Faye, and you're talking about how teams and how teams build artists today. But, you know, it's so long, it's always been teams. Yeah, someone can shine as a solo artist, but, you know, just standing there singing a song by yourself is good. You're a small group of people, but having a team of musicians behind you
Mm-hmm.
spotlights, and it makes that better. It's always about teamwork and team building and building a sound together, building a company together. I just don't get why people are like, oh, I'm the king of the music, and nobody can do music without me.
I'm independent, damn it.
Yeah. And you can go out with a guitar and definitely make a difference,
Mm-hmm.
But, Neil Diamond was in a band too.
Yep. Well, and that's not even mentioning, like we said with Dakota, the people behind them. Like, we probably don't even know the people who made them successful. Like, yeah, they were the front man. They were the spotlight. But I'm thinking, and especially nowadays, because it's so much harder for someone to make it in music or anything entertainment-wise, you have to have a solid team behind you. You have to have the guy who's calling people around. You have to have the editors. You have to have the producers. You have to have the bookers. You pretty much have to have everything in order to be successful, because there's so much more competition now than there ever was. And it's so much easier to put your stuff out there.
It's easier and harder at the same time. Yeah,
It's easier to put it out there, harder to get noticed because it's oversaturated.
absolutely.
But that said, too, with Dakota, I mean, you were with me on Saturday night when we watched him play. Realistically, like, Dakota, like, he's the guy right now. In 2 years, he's going to be a celebrity.
2 years.
2 years. 2 years. So
Josh is never wrong.
I'm never wrong, unless I'm wrong. And I'm wrong.
And you can throw it back out, but it's 2 years.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yep, 2 years. So, I mean, we saw Reddy perform with him. Eddie Mack performed with him. And on any given day, those guys could make something amazing as well. I mean, they were all very talented.
Absolutely.
It's just right now, yeah, Dakota's like the top there. But in jiu-jitsu, it was me and Tyler was my training partner. And it was always like a kings to you type thing. Like, 1 week I'd be the best. I'd be just dominating Tyler. Then the next week he would step his game up and he'd be dominating me. And we keep going up, getting better and better and better.
Like Ken and Ryu.
Like Ken and Ryu. Except, was Ken ever better than Ryu?
Wasn't he?
He probably was. Who was the guy in pink? Dan? Could be Dan. Dan was, have you heard of that story?
Uh-uh.
So they created a character later on. I don't remember which one, but it was Dan something. And he wears a pink gi. And he said he was the third brother or maybe their cousin. And basically, I think they kept doing the lore where he's a drunk and a loser. And yeah, he didn't actually have any fighting style. And over the years, now they gave him his own fighting style. And he's a comedy character. I believe he's shown up in other games as well.
I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah,
I guess I'd have to see. And
when I get sick, like I'm a little sick right now, but when I get sick, I watch documentaries on just weird shit that I don't have to pay attention to. And usually it's the stuff that I'm into, which is video games, martial arts, and now video editing and stuff like that. But drawing, I like to draw. So hence the shirt. I'm wearing one of my favorites, the Danny Savage shirt.
Yeah.
You're wearing the Sugar Break shirt.
I sure
for
am.
the band Sugar Break, which, if you haven't heard Sugar Break, you guys are really good.
Thank you.
Very, very good. But anyway, we'll get to Sugar Break after the break. I'll say that. you see what I did there?
what you did there.
It was a good joke. It was very funny, timeless. Anyhow, and with that, we're going to go to a sugar break.